Welcome to Cult Film School, classes in session. We're your hosts, Adrian, that's me, and Dion.
That's me.
That's you. In this episode titled Andy Sidaris, Triple B, Double Bill. Get it?
I get it. I wrote it.
Because boobs. We are highlighting the unique works of American film director, producer, screenwriter, Andy Sidaris. Now, you might be listening to this and be thinking, who was Andy Sidaris?
Oh, you're not thinking that. But okay, go ahead.
We just said he's an American film director, producer, and screenwriter, so pay attention.
Zing.
Now you might be listening to this and thinking, Adrian, you're a smartass. I prefer intelligent ass. Speaking of ass, to highlight the works of Andy Sidaris, we will be discussing the film that kicked it all off, Malibu Express from 1985, aka Boobs and Ass the Movie, and its follow-up and Andy Sidaris' most well-known film, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the first one I saw. Hard Ticket to Hawaii from 1987, a.k.a. Boobs and Ass 2, More Boobs and More Ass.
More everything.
But before we get into all those boobs and all that ass, we believe in protection here at Cult Film School, and we ask our listeners to take all necessary precautions.
Yes.
Of course, such precautions would be following us on social media and Letterboxd, giving us a rating on Apple Podcasts, and or commenting on your favorite Cult Film School episode on Spotify. Our handle on everything is at Cult Film School. Okay, so Dion.
Yes.
Now that you and I have lubed up,
yes,
I think we should be gentle with each other and ease into this episode.
Yes.
By first talking about Andy Sidaris. Just a little bit about like who he was and why we're talking about him. Apparently, this guy started off his career in television. He directed sports programming for ABC.
Won Emmys.
He won the Emmy covering the 1968 Olympics.
Yeah.
And he helped pioneer modern sports TV techniques like the honey shot, which was close-ups of cheerleaders or attractive women in the crowd, which later became a trademark of his film style. And then so following TV, he moved to low-budget action films, beginning in 1973 with the movie Stacey.
Yes, Stacey.
So his kind of shtick was he blended spy thriller plots, softcore eroticism, campy humor, basically a subgenre of sorts, often dubbed as guns, girls, and G-string cinema. Following Stacey, and he did another movie in the 70s.
7.
With William Smith.
Imagine the 7 samurai in Hawaii with explosive boomerangs, and you've got 7.
And it may be the only movie where William Smith is not the villain.
He is the good guy. He's the lead good guy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It works, honestly.
So moving on from those films, Sidaris went into his best known work. He did a series of films that later his son continued, and this has been dubbed the Bullets, Bombs, and Babes film series. These films begin with Malibu Express and its follow-up, Hard Ticket to Hawaii. These movies have become cult classics for their over-the-top action, exotic locations, and bikini-clad female agents, often played by Playboy playmates or fitness models. Now, the signature style of these films is that they embraced camp, self-awareness, and featured cheesy one-liners, explosions, and scantily clad, well, everything. What's also special about these films is that they are a shared cinematic universe. Way before the MCU, there was the ASCU, Andy Sidaris, where every problem could be solved with a bazooka, a hot tub, or a woman named Knockers with an H. You don't watch these movies for the plot. You watch them for the bazookas. And I don't just mean the weapons. All of the ASCU films, that's what I'm going to call these things, are loosely connected through an elite government outfit, often referred to as the agency, like S.H.I.E.L.D. This mysterious organization sends sexy secret agents, usually, Playboy models or penthouse pets, to tropical locations like Malibu or Hawaii to fight smugglers, drug lords, arms dealers, with recurring characters, actors, and the occasional radioactive cancer snake.
You forgot communist, but continue.
Communist. Oh my God. Everything. Whatever you can think of, it's in there. Think James Bond meets Baywatch, but on a budget with just way more boobs and even way more ass. Just like an all-you-can-eat buffet. So Andy Sidaris, he's kind of built a legacy. I mean, he's passed now, but these films, all of them are cult classics, really.
Yeah.
They were often critically dismissed during his career, but now he's one of those cult film legends you hear about in exploitation and B-movie circles. His movies are beloved for their pure entertainment value, and they're still being released on physical media.
Kino has released 7. I have it on Blu-ray here somewhere. Mill Creek, most recently, and by most recently, I mean like in the last 5 years, has released the Andy Sidaris films on DVD, and I think most recently on Blu-ray.
So this is Cult Film School. Like we've said in past episodes, this is not your daddy's cult film podcast. And I know lots of people have talked about Andy Sidaris films, specifically Hard Ticket to Hawaii, because it gets lumped in with those So Bad It's Good movies. But like we try to do on the show, we're going to offer something a little different to our listeners. We're going to offer a thesis of sorts for these Andy Sidaris films. Because if I did move on to get that PhD in film studies, I could totally see myself in front of a panel of academics speaking about Andy Sidaris films.
I'm closer to doing that than you are, so this is not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, but you would say it more eloquently, like
perhaps.
Sidaris was the Hitchcock of sleaze, where the male gaze is strong and Hard Ticket to Hawaii stands among Citizen Kane, but swaps a sled for a radioactive cancer snake. So to preface this discussion, this is how we're going to kind of approach these films. For our listeners, before we get into too deep into the bazookas, bikinis, and radioactive cancer snakes, I just like saying that. Let's talk about something you may or may not think about when you think of the Bullets, Bombs, and Babe series. Feminism.
Continue.
Or rather, exploitation feminism.
Interesting.
So Andy Sidaris movies don't exactly scream progressive gender politics. On the surface, these films are all about the male gaze. Softcore glamour shots, Playboy playmates with machine guns, and dialogue so cheesy, it should come with crackers. I thought it'd be funny to say a cheesy line talking about cheesy lines. Anyways.
Yeah, no, I'll let you have that one.
Okay. But here's the thing. Somehow, beneath all the slow motion sleaze and saxophone scores, there's this weird kind of empowerment bubbling up. Whether Sidaris meant for this or not, almost certainly not. He created a cinematic universe where women don't just take their tops off, they take control. They lead the missions, they fire the rockets, they win the fights, and somehow that turns these otherwise goofy B-movie romps into something almost subversive.
So, Adrian.
Yes, Dion?
Exploitation feminism.
Yeah.
I gather it's really a way to try and explain and identify a type of representation, aka feminist, within the genre of exploitation cinema. And exploitation cinema is inherently not feminist, right? It's inherently, I think, sexist, inherently kind of moves to these two-dimensional caricatures and stereotypes. It kind of has to use this kind of like genre shorthand. And so exploitation feminism is a weird thing. It's like it kind of shouldn't exist because these are like two things that cross purposes. In other words, like exploitation cinema, generally speaking, can't afford representation that is, as you said, subversive, or that is, at the very least, challenging to these norms, because part of what the exploitation film works on is quickly establishing those norms in order to kind of play with them or, depending on the genre, challenge them. But then feminism is also there. And so feminism, again, loosely speaking, right, is about, equality and representation and, for lack of a better word, power, right? Agency. You said control. The thing to me that's interesting, and we're going to talk about this when we look at both films, is how writer, director, producer Sidaris is kind of managing both of those impulses. An impulse toward the lowest common denominator and the T and the A, as well as a kind of a contrary impulse to like empower those characters that are always objectified. Even in these films, always objectified. But even if they're objectified, they're still, in his films, in his world, with power and with agency, more competent even than the male quote-unquote heroes that you find. So exploitation, feminism. The more you know.
The More You Know by Cult Film School. All right, so now that we've kind of set all that up, let's dig into it. The absurd, outrageous, unintentional feminism of Andy Sidaris. Because if anyone can smuggle empowerment into a movie about radioactive cancer snakes, it's this guy. So with that, Dion, it's time to get steamy. It's time for Malibu Express and Hard Ticket to Hawaii. This is Andy Sidaris, Triple B, Double Bill.
Here at Cult Film School, we really only have one rule, and that is to do your homework before coming to class. Please watch these films in advance. We're only asking you to watch 2 and not 12. Otherwise, beware of spoilers.
Malibu Express. So if you go on IMDb, the plot of this movie, a womanizing private detective is assigned the task of investigating who is behind the high-tech computer technology leaks to the Russians. Is that what it's about? I totally forgot about that.
Oh, it totally is. I've seen this film like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 times now. I am always shocked that I totally forget that plot point by about 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
It's like, because the film totally forgets about it until the closing act.
Yeah. No, I always think of like, it's like more about like the mystery of within the family and the house, and well, it's almost like Clue.
Well, it's about that until there is a murder about the midway point in the film, and then the film suddenly has a purpose, which is who did the murder? Because this whole like, there's a communist mole, there's an infiltrator selling spies to the Russians, is fine, except our hero doesn't really do jack shit about that. He's just like watching, as you just said, watching the inner workings of this dysfunctional family. Oh, we didn't say his name. He is Cody Abilene.
Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, I've seen the movie a few times and like I totally forget what it's about.
Oh, no, totally. And I think that's as much because the film doesn't care. Like, it literally is the MacGuffin. It's the red herring. It's the plot device that sets everything up. MacGuffin is a Hitchcock term. It's the stupid plot device that doesn't have any meaning, but is a necessary point for, like, the narrative to move. It's like, it doesn't mean anything. And that's just like selling computers to the Russians means nothing in the context of the film we're watching, with the exception of, I think, 2 scenes in the film. One at the beginning and one at the end. Like, that's it.
Yeah, it doesn't even come up in the final act with the big reveal of, the investigation work Cody has done where he gathers everyone together to be like, here's what I solved. It has nothing to do with the Russians.
Where he plays Clouseau. It's like, here's the mastermind that I uncovered, and here's all the clues, and here's how I discovered everything. No.
So we said his first film was 1973 Stacey. This is Malibu Express, the first film of his Bombs, Babes, and
Bullets, Triple B
film series. But this is it's like a remake of Stacey.
Yeah, I mean, spoiler, if you've never seen Malibu Express, be careful because you will have inadvertently seen Stacey. Stacey is what you would get if you had Malibu Express, where the detective was June Knockers.
With an H.
The race car driver. And if you got rid of all that, comedy and lightheartedness, there's almost none of that in Stacey. Stacey's pretty kind of low rent, gritty sexploitation stuff.
That was the prototype.
It was. But interestingly, that initial attempt had its hero as a female. Strong, independent, kind of quick-witted, resourceful woman who just happened, to be like a model. We don't get that in our hero in Malibu Express.
No, our hero in Malibu Express, Cody Abilene, is Magnum P.I. meets Smokey and the Bandit.
Written from the Tommy Wiseau handbook of how to write your hero.
Everyone loves him.
He's so charming. All the women want to be with him. All the men want to be him.
Everyone wants to sleep with him.
Yeah.
The men do too. those bodybuilders really want him, like in a big bad way.
Again, this is what I said. The Tommy Wiseau school of how to write your hero. Yeah.
Because like Magnum PI, he's got like a flashy red car, but in this one it's a DeLorean, not a Ferrari. And he doesn't live in a beach house. He lives on a houseboat. And like Magnum, he's constantly caught between solving cases and dealing with absurd situations. But then he's also like Smokey and the Bandit because he's like a good old boy. He's a Southern accented. Is that a word?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and he's got the mustache like Magnum, also like Smokey. And there's also, like Smokey and the Bandit, like car chases and redneck humor, because there's that dumb hick family that are constantly wanting to race him, like stunt car race him.
Oh yeah, that is a kind of a underdeveloped subplot.
Well, to me, it was a conscious, it's like Smokey and the Bandit. Because if it wasn't like an homage to that, I have no idea why it's in the movie.
Yeah. Like, to me, the Smokey and the Bandit thing is because he's kind of like an outlaw cowboy. This kind of quote unquote good old boy demeanor, right? He's kind of charming and he's got this weird kind of integrity. And
also, like Smokey and the Bandit, Malibu Express kind of leans into like kind of fourth wall breaking. He's constantly speaking on his tape recorder to us, the audience, right? Thinking about the case when he remembers he's on a case.
As soon as that starts in this film, I was grinning ear to ear. On the one hand, you can totally tell he puts the little tape recorder in front of his mouth so that they could record the audio after the fact, right? So they could just like, we're just going to record you without sound, driving down the road. They could put any audio in there. So to me, I was like, oh, that's charming. It's like a really cheap way to kind of get your exposition in. But then it's the fucking exposition itself. It is so poorly overwritten. He says everything he's thinking, everything you know that's going on, everything you don't know that's going on. It's just such an exposition dump every time he does it. I don't think anyone would ever accuse Sidaris of being like a deft or a smart writer. Instead of like shitting on it, it's actually charming. It's so overwritten. I get an inordinate amount of joy out of how overwritten it is.
So, how is Malibu Express an example of what we're calling exploitation feminism?
Do tell.
Well, on its surface, it's cheesy, male gaze-driven B-movie full of bikinis, boob shots, and bumbling gunplay. But beneath the sleaze and sleuthing, there's an interesting thread of feminism running through it. Not because it tries to be empowering, but because the structure unintentionally hands power to the women anyway. What do I mean by that? Well, for starters, women control the story. So even though Cody is the hero, he's bumbling, he's ineffective. Did we mention he's a PI?
He also, this is a running joke throughout all of the films that I've seen of this series. He is a really poor shot. He can't hit a still target. And this is something that all the Abilenes have. We're going to see it in Hard Ticket to Hawaii. It happens in Picasso Trigger. It happens again and again and again. It's the one way they're not perfect, quote unquote, right? But at the same time, it's like, oh, look at that. They're impotent.
Well, and what's interesting about that is the first scene with Cody, is he goes to the gun range and goes to shoot the target and he misses the target completely. Using
his Magnum PI gun.
Yeah, using his gun. His big gun.
Well, it's a big gun. No, it's like the Dirty Harry gun, isn't it? It's
Yeah, I know. But in the world of exploitation feminism, right? His gun is his member.
Technically, I think the term used is phallus.
I know, but phallus just, I don't know. It doesn't sound like what it is.
Well, then make up another word.
Member. So he's like a bumbling, ineffective PI, and he mostly gets outsmarted or sidetracked by sex. Meanwhile, the women in this plot are the real drivers. Sybil Danning's in this film.
Countess Luciana. Is she ever? Oliver. Holy Christ.
She's the one who employs Cody to solve the mystery going on within her house.
It's not her house. It's like a friend's house.
No, is it? I thought it was like isn't like her aunt, the woman in the wheelchair?
But it's not her house. It's like a friend, or even if it's a family friend, it's a friend, and she is too close to the family to investigate it herself.
Oh, I thought it was her family because like she controls like the estate or something.
I don't details. Who cares?
I don't know. But the point is, her character is she's the one who's orchestrating what's going on behind the scenes. That's the point of what I'm trying to make.
Given the type of film this is, a hackneyed kind of redux of like a Humphrey Bogart film noir from the 1950s,
Oh, yeah.
right? You know, you're Philip Marlowe. He's a detective on the case trying to infiltrate like this kind of broken or dysfunctional family. This is not a film noir, but in that film noir's genre context, Sybil Danning is the femme fatale. And so the femme fatale, historically, right, in that genre would have power. Now, the femme fatale in film noir always gets destroyed, always gets killed, in part because they are a threat to, you know, whatever, like men, the patriarchy. They're a threat to the status quo, a woman, independent woman with power. And so in every film noir you're going to see, they try and, you know, subdue the male hero, whether it's murdering them directly or like enticing them, you know, capturing their attention so that they can, you know, their feminine wiles, all that stuff. In our film Malibu Express, the femme fatale doesn't get destroyed at the end. To your point, to the thesis, this is interesting. Because, like, the one character in this genre that should get killed doesn't. Instead, what are we left with? Money shot of Sybil Danning showering in a outdoor Hawaiian shower. It's like, yeah, there you go. Thank you, Andy Sidaris.
That's all I needed.
But like, it is interesting that, like, exactly what you're saying is totally true. But what's even more interesting is the genre that he is riffing from and how he's fundamentally changing some of the quote-unquote rules. And he's changing them in these ways that you're highlighting. Yeah, no, I think it works.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, she's kind of like, I guess, the villain of the story, but she wins.
She is the villain. She does win because it is ultimately disclosed in her like Mission Impossible exploding cassette tape thing that she wanted Cody to basically do away with this loose thread, the guy that gets murdered. And she didn't want to do it herself. And so she kind of got him to try and basically pin the blame on someone else and have him support her in her alibi.
Yeah, he's like he works for the family. He's like their driver, the butler.
Oh, yeah.
But he's also, I guess, in bed with these Russians or something. And he's extorting the women in the family because of his gambling debts.
The dirty Shane.
Well, women in control. So we mentioned Lady Luciana, but like all the female suspects in the film, they're far more intelligent, manipulative, and competent than Cody gives them credit for. I mean, yes, they use their sexuality as leverage, but not as helpless seductresses, but more as like tactical operatives. There's a reason behind the seduction. And June Knockers with an H. I mean, she's a comic relief sex pop, but she literally saves the day by flashing a villain to distract them so that Cody can get his still shot, because that's the only way he can hit a target is if it's standing still.
I think that the one fatal flaw, well, there's probably more than one, but like this film needed more June Knockers.
Yeah, she's great.
She is great. Totally charismatic. She totally captivates when she's on screen.
For the fans of Teen Wolf, the Michael J. Fox movie, she plays the character Rhonda in the party scene, who holds the bowl of Jell-O that Chubby eats. If you know, you know.
I just looked at her filmography and noticed she's also in Joysticks, which is a film that I desperately love. We will talk about it at some point in the future. But like all these females, Cody's support network, they're all strong women. The cop, who's his kind of like on and off girlfriend, who has that shootout where he can't hit them and then she ends up shooting them down because, you know, he's useless with his gun. He can't handle his member. There's the phone sex line that's also his like message taking service.
The women are almost always more competent than Cody.
Yeah.
They just don't get the credit for it because the film is more interested in their boobs.
Yeah.
And like we said, Cody Abilene is our hero who, terrible with guns, constantly outmaneuvered. He's more eye candy than anything. And so this definitely unintentionally levels the playing field, positioning him as no more effective than the women he tries to seduce in the film. So if the film were more self-aware, it might be satire, but as it stands, it becomes a kind of accidental role reversal where the man is dumb, cute, and ineffective, and the women are clever, dangerous, and central. How's that?
Yeah, no, there is something to these Sidaris films, and I think while it's very easy to kind of pick the low-hanging fruit of all the excesses of skin, excesses of plot device or explosions or fast cars or like all of the surface things, they're all there. And I think they all create this kind of film world. But what we're talking about, yeah, it's also there. And it kind of adds something that is so unexpected within these kind of exploitation films that it's hard to kind of remedy it. These are two different worlds that are kind of coming together. The only other thing I would say in connection to this is that like it's a weird mix is tone. And maybe we're going to get into tone when we talk about A Hard Ticket to Hawaii. One of the biggest things that struck me as a departure from Stacey to Malibu Express. Malibu Express, by the way, is the name of the boat.
The boat that Cody lives on.
The houseboat. Yeah. Tone. The 1973 Stacey plays it straight. It's kind of gritty, dark. Whereas Malibu Express, everything is kind of light and bubbly, from a lot of the female eye candy characters to the central hero and his bumbling kind of ineffectualness.
Yeah, and that's very intentional, the tone. You can even tell in the score and the music he uses.
Oh yeah, no, the tone is the true strength of these films. It manages to kind of balance your fast, sexy explosions but keep it light, right? And it so works. Like to me, that's Sidaris' genius. It's tone. Tonally, it works so well.
Yeah, no, I agree. But all this is to say, it's a subversive effect of just, any other kind of softcore sleaze movie. Because in Malibu Express, it objectifies women constantly, but these are also women that own their sexuality, make what's that word? They own their bodies. Autonomous choices. They're making the choices, and they refuse to be shamed for their desires or their bodies. And that's not nothing, especially for a 1980s exploitation film. It's kind of a proto-sex positive framing.
Oh, no, it is.
Yeah, even if the camera's objectifying them, the narrative is empowering them.
And their own presentations or their own characterizations is also empowering them.
Yeah.
None of them are presented or made to respond in a way to apologize for their identity, so to speak, right? And sex positive. Yeah, I think that works here. Sexist and sex positive, right? This is what I mean.
Yeah, that's what's so interesting about
it. Is such a contradiction. It's like, how in the hell does that work? And it's like, I have no idea, but let me introduce you to Andy Sidaris.
Yeah, Malibu Express, it thinks it's about a cool guy solving crimes, but it accidentally tells a story where women are the real operators of power.
Yeah.
And it's kind of amazing to watch. Do you have any final thoughts on Malibu Express?
It's kind of remarkable for a number of the reasons that we've both said. You wouldn't expect that film to be this. You would expect it, as you said, to be a clone of, you said Magnum PI, or a clone of, what was the other one? Smoking the Bandit. And I was like a clone of 1940s film noir. And it is all of that, but it's like this Sidaris twist that is entirely unexpected, but totally fits with the film, and also adds a level or a layer to it that brings something else to the fore. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles of Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Hard Ticket to Hawaii, is kind of, I think, universally praised as this high point in low budget B filmmaking. This isn't that, but what it does do, it's really smart in surprising ways.
Yeah. And this is the beginning of the whole ASCU.
This is where it starts.
Yeah, Cody Abilene's the Captain America of the ASCU.
The Salinger Captain America.
Of course. Yeah. The tagline of Malibu Express: packing heat from Texas to Malibu Beach.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Again, that's what the movie thinks it's about.
Before we move on, do we want to just fully spoil it? Who the killer is? Does this matter? No, it doesn't really.
Oh, I thought we already spoiled it.
Did we? No, we didn't say that. We didn't say that Sybil Danning killed him.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, she's the one. I said she was the one orchestrating this whole thing. So she's the one, setting up Cody to crack the case, but she's also the
criminal mastermind.
Yeah. And how does it end? She gives Cody the answers to everything he's supposed to be doing on the tape recorder. And then she's like, after you listen to this, the tape recorder will melt. And it does. And then on the recording, it's like, now that I've solved the crime for you that I employed you to solve, come meet me and let's get it on. And I was like, go, Cody, go. Like,
well, surely there'll be a sequel.
Well, I guess with that, Confucius say it's time to discuss.
As soon as you said it, I was like, oh, that's right.
Confucius say it's time to discuss Hard Ticket to Hawaii, the follow-up to Malibu Express.
What a follow-up. So that is what we thought about Malibu Express, but we'd like to hear what you have to say. Please reach out to us either at our email address, which is cultfilmschoolpodcast@gmail.com, or reach out to us on one of the places we're on over at the social media warehouse.
Oh, that's funny. The movie starts off in a warehouse. Okay, Hard Ticket to Hawaii. If you go on IMDb, the plot of this one has nothing to do with Russians, right? Okay. In Hawaii, an undercover DEA agent and her civilian friend stumble upon a drug trafficking operation and have to enlist the help of all their colleagues and friends to go after the vicious drug kingpin.
You're thinking.
All of their colleagues and friends. Like, no, two guys.
Two guys.
Yeah.
And then the friend who's the bartender owner, Edie.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Taryn's boyfriend, I think it's lumped into it at some point. Sportscaster guy.
Oh, I didn't realize all those people were helping them on the case.
Well, no. I mean, truly, yeah. It is the four. Because the four of them rescue the other woman, Edie. And then they go on the hunt for all the big bads.
Yeah.
Donna Spear.
Yeah. So the four is Donna Spear.
As Donna Hamilton.
Right. Donna plays Donna. Keep it simple. Who is a recurring character in the Sidaris films. Her friend is helping her on this drug trafficking operation, but her friend is in the witness protection program.
That's the exposition when we're first introduced, yeah. With a new identity and a new cover. Taryn, she is working as a pilot.
Right. And then their friends are Cody Abilene's cousin, Rowdy Abilene.
Rowdy, yes. Who has the boat?
He's got the boat Malibu Express, which appears in this film.
Rowdy Abilene, played by actor-musician Ron Moss.
I just found this out because I knew he was some sort of kind of soap opera actor.
Soap opera actor for decades. But before that, before he got into film, before TV, he was a musician with the band Player, whose big hit to fame was Baby Come Back.
Baby Come Back.
Well, I was going to not sing it so we don't get any kind of copyright flags on us, but that's fine.
Whatever.
Baby Come Back.
That's wild.
It is wild. It's like, what happened to the world? Why are these things connected? I don't know, but here we are. Hard Ticket to Hawaii, Baby Come Back. You can't unseparate them.
You know what's hilarious too is he's a musician and he's like, I don't think he has any involvement in the soundtrack of this film.
No. He's an actor now, damn it.
Yeah, it's not him singing, "It's a hard ticket to Hawaii." Like,
that opening song, it's had me in stitches. This is like one of those songs that like tells you kind of in very, very broad strokes, this is what the film is about.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's not always paradise. It's like, yeah, that's true. And Rowdy's partner.
Yeah, this guy, I know we know his name is Jade, but I kept, like, he looks like Gaston from Beauty and the Beast to me, so I kept referencing him as Gaston.
Who is a...
Yeah, he's like an actual martial artist.
No, I was going to say, like, in the film, it's not clear, I don't think, that he's a member of the DEA.
I got the sense he was just hanging out with Rowdy.
Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. It's like Rowdy's doing stuff, right? He's working for the agency. Donna's working for the agency. But yeah, Jade just seemed to be like kind of, like living the beach life, the best life. And that was about it. Just so happened to be useful with his hands.
Yeah. So it's like two agents and their friends like help them. It stopped a drug kingpin named Seth Romero.
Seth Romero. What a badass.
Yeah. But he's not the real, like he's like He's not the guy in charge. He's not the Sybil Danning of this film. He's the Sybil Danning of this film is this very, very white British man named Mr. Chang.
Yes.
Who apparently is half Asian.
And mostly British, yes.
Yeah, he's like half British, half Asian, 100% British.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hard Ticket to Hawaii, the only film where a character says he's attacking me and your friend replies, get the bazooka, with total sincerity. Yeah, before we kind of jump into it, we alluded, so this is the follow-up to Malibu Express, and this is the second in these ASCU films. There's some meta stuff going on at the beginning of this film when we see Donna and Taryn go back to their hangout.
Beach house?
Beach house. They got Andy Sidaris posters on the wall of his two earlier films, Stacey and Seven. And there's a poster of Malibu Express. Donna says that she hasn't heard much from Cody Abilene because he left the agency to go become an actor. So it kind of implies that Cody was playing himself in Malibu Express.
Yep.
So Malibu Express, the film, exists in the world of Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
It does.
So no more Cody Abilene. We have Rowdy, Cody's cousin. Actually, the whole Abilene cousin thing, there's a lot of cousins in these Sidaris films.
It's a running joke. Much like Rowdy, much like Cody, is a useless shot. He cannot hit a target, which is why he uses a bazooka. He even says this in the dialogue. He uses a bazooka because he'll never miss.
Yeah, his weapon of choice is a bazooka. It doesn't matter if the target's far away or inside a building. Like, it doesn't matter. It's a bazooka. Okay, so feminism. So like Malibu Express, Hard Ticket to Hawaii is wrapped in a glossy package of camp cleavage and cartoonish violence. But beneath the surface, intentionally or not, and almost certainly not, it ends up delivering a strong exploitation feminism message. It does. I mean, our women are action heroes. Donna and Taryn, they're armed, they're skillful, they're resourceful, they're leading the mission. They're not just, the girls supporting the guys. They are the protagonists. Rowdy and Jade, they show up, but it's Donna and Taryn who carry the emotional narrative weight of the film, which is a big shift from 80s action films where the women are usually the girlfriend or hostage or corpse. They don't need saving. They do the savings. Just they do it in bikinis.
Or topless.
And again, like Malibu Express, sexuality is a tool. It's not a weakness. Sure, this film objectifies women. They're often nude, always glamorous, and clearly cast for their looks. Again, most of them are Playboy models, but they're also in control of when and how they use their sexuality. They're never or rarely punished or shamed for it. They frequently use it to manipulate the dumb male criminals. They're never passive victims. They weaponize seduction to gain information, stall enemies, turn the tables. You could call it exploitation, but it lands closer to, again, sex positivity through absurdity.
I'm just going to throw in here something that we didn't mention in Malibu Express, but also reappears in Hard Ticket to Hawaii. And that is the actor Michael A. Andrews, who in Malibu Express played the role of one of the sons in the family who was married, but was hiding a secret. And that was he dressed as a woman and is coded as being gay. And so this was one of the tools that the evil Shane, the driver, was using as blackmail to kind of blackmail the family in Malibu Express. And in this film, Hard Ticket to Hawaii, the same actor appears, in this case, dressed as a female, as a, a hostess at the Edie's kind of central restaurant bar where all the characters kind of congregate. And then later in the film, it's revealed that I think that the character's name is Michele is really not Michele, but that's a guise when Michele disrobes. And then she reappears as Michael, who is kind of a henchman and a member of the Seth Romero gang of drug runners. The interesting part about this, it kind of supports the thesis of exploitation feminism. Because on the one hand, there's nothing more exploitative than, say, like, look at the cross-dresser, right? Like, look at this what is going on? This is sensational. But at the same time, the character in both films is never like ridiculed for it.
No.
It is so matter of fact that it's shocking. The only character that does anything untoward this gender fluid character is in Malibu Express Shane, and he's a blackmailer and he's an asshole and he gets murdered because of it. And he's a communist sympathizer, right? Like he is the worst character, in Malibu Express, and he's the only one that says anything bad about that character in that film. And here it's like, sure, this guy or this person is a spy. And so, we don't trust them, but it's so matter of fact and so nonchalant that it's almost like, because it's not whatever you call it, transphobic or homophobic, it almost feels like liberating. It's like, holy shit. This is just one of the bad crew. I just mentioned this because, one, we didn't mention it at all with Malibu Express. And two, it kind of like, it further supports this, like these dual impulses that are going on in this film. It's like, one, it's like the most sensationalistic, exploitative instincts of exploiting anything from difference to caricatures to stereotypes. At the same time, it's able to see these individuals not as subordinate, not as disempowered because of their identity, even if that is not, white male or whatever. So I think it's kind of noteworthy in this discussion to kind of like be like, it's not, in this case, I guess all I'm saying is it's not just the women characters or the biological female characters that are symptoms or symbols of what Sidaris is doing. It's other characters in the films. And we've already talked about, like the Abilene cousins. But it's just kind of noteworthy. It's like, wow, mid-'80s action, not what you would expect at all.
No, in both films, that character's not, or that actor, they're not exploited in any way, actually. I mean, aside from Shane in Malibu Express, but like, they're not like the punchline of a joke, or they're not sexualized in any way.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's very curious. And I think this is why I say, like, it has to be intentional, but I don't know exactly if it was conscious.
Yeah.
Like why those decisions were made for this character or that character.
More so in Malibu Express, because that character is secretly cross-dressing and meeting up with, other
cross-dressing males.
Yeah. Which we see, and we just see them have conversations at a table. There's nothing
lurid.
Again, exploitive. And in and then in Hard Ticket to Hawaii, this dressing up as a woman is just a disguise for this henchman.
Which is, again, part of the subterfuge. There's a whole bunch of that with this drug running, right? They're using like radio-controlled helicopters to like secretly... There's a whole bunch of secret things going on, right? And this just is like part of that. It's part of the tools of spycraft. There's even like this kind of almost funny exchange that character has before she disrobes and becomes Michael, goes from Michele to Michael, where there's another waitress in there topless talking about keeping her breasts firm or whatever. And Michele, the spy, is just like, meh, whatever. And then, as soon as the waitress leaves, take off the makeup, take off the wig, get into the, whatever turtleneck or whatever the spy gear is for bad guys, and like go meet up in the Jeep because they're going to go hunt down some DEA agents. It's like, okay. But like, I think in any other film, you're right. In any other film, there'd be a joke at their expense. They would be undercut in some way, taken down a peg, so to speak.
Yeah.
Nope. They're just one of the goons. They get shot and killed like everyone else in the end.
And until he like has that line just before he takes off his wig and exposes that he's actually a guy, he had me fooled. I thought I'm like, she looks good.
No. I would agree. So Sidaris has a good way of making all his characters look beautiful. I think that is true. One of his gifts.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's sex positivity through absurdity.
Or sex positivity through exploitation.
Yeah. Same thing. Yeah. The film never questions the female character's competence. There's no, wow, she fights like a guy, like they're just good at their jobs. And in fact, the most outrageous weapons, razor, frisbees, snake rocket launchers, like are wielded by men.
Yeah.
There's that. And speaking of the men, much like Malibu Express, they are either eye candy or the sidekicks. Rowdy and I keep calling him Gaston, Jade. They're tough, but they're also shirtless, posing, cracking bad jokes half the time, but they're backup. The main villains are dopey, cartoonish, they're over the top, Mr. Chang, while the women remain collected. So this inverts that typical male dominant action genre hierarchy thing, right? So it's, again, subversive. It's a quiet act of subversion beneath the skin of these kinds of films.
Because like could you imagine like Rambo First Blood Part 2, but with a sensual woman in the lead? And if the answer is no, then obviously you've never seen Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
And let's not forget giant radioactive cancer snakes.
I was gonna ask, when are you gonna bring up the giant radioactive cancer snake?
So there is a radioactive cancer snake throughout this film, which is hilarious.
The first time you see it, actually, the first time I saw it, I think I had a similar reaction to our joint reactions to the masked killer and Night Killer. Because when I saw the giant snake, I was like, okay, so wait a minute. Is this like a really cheap Muppet? Am I supposed to believe it's a real snake? What's going on? And yeah, within about 2 minutes, this is the world. You buy into this. You buy into the stupid marionette puppet snake thing made out of, I don't know, paper mache. Like, it looks really bad. The film kind of demands you buy into that. And if you do buy into that, the film has you, honestly. At that point, it doesn't matter how extremely stupid the action pieces get, because you've already bought into the goddamn giant radioactive cancer snake. So what are you complaining about? Why are you bringing logic up now if you've already bought into the giant radioactive cancer snake?
At first, when I watched it, I was like, oh, it's just a puppet snake or whatever. But then, like, it becomes like a central kind of character throughout the movie, right? And it has a big climax at the end where it busts out of the toilet, which is hilarious. But yeah, it's funny because if there was a puppeteer, they did a shit job. There's one scene where it goes in a hole. It just looks like someone pulled it.
Yes. I'm confident that's probably what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. But like very early in the film, we are told that this radioactive snake is also infested with some sort of cancer. So if it bites you, you're like doubly fucked. But by the time we get to the big climax with the snake, you have bought into, bazookas, rocket launchers hitting a guy who rides a skateboard on his hands and also holding a gun and a blow-up doll, the razor-bladed frisbee, which is a serious weapon in this movie for some reason. That's the famous scene in the movie where the guy shades.
Yep.
Death by razor frisbee. That guy, I thought, oh God, this guy, I'm like, he looks familiar. And I thought he was the douchey boyfriend from Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. Chip, but it's not. They just have the same hair.
It was the 80s.
Yeah. For me, like, yeah, the razor bladed frisbee, the bazookas, the rocket launchers, the radioactive cancer snake. This is all part of the camp that you see in these films. But despite all of this camp, the women are never portrayed as out of their league. So the film respects their action chops, even when the film itself gets hilariously bonkers.
Because I think it's Donna, right, that kills the snake, but also, is it? Does she kill the snake, shoot the snake's head off, or is that Rowdy?
I think that's Rowdy. So she goes back to her pad, right?
Yep.
Her beach house or whatever. And that's where Seth
Romero.
Yeah. So he's there. So she takes him down. Then the radioactive cancer snake comes out of the toilet, and then fucking Rowdy motorcycles through her house for no reason. He has no reason to believe she's in danger or anything. He just destroys her house and, takes out his rocket launcher. And so he destroys her house, takes out a rocket launcher, and shoots the snake inside the house.
But now, the reason I brought this up is like, who ends up killing the bad guy? And so, like, you're saying Rowdy gets the snake, but she gets Chang, right? Because they are both point blank at him in his office.
That's right.
He pulls out like a harpoon, or he pulls out some weapon. They both shoot him, and even at point blank range, Rowdy still misses. Simply put, I think she saves his ass again.
Yeah.
The only reason I bring it up is for that reason. Even if they both do it, he can't do it without her.
No.
Again, it just proves the thesis that, like, it doesn't matter if she's in a wet t-shirt when she does it, but that doesn't undercut her competency, agency, her power.
No. She's the lead, really. Like, and then her character kind of is, she's the central character throughout most of these films.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's got a great ass. I like that when like Rowdy's just about to like razor frisbee the shades. He tells the girl to like run off right before he does this, but not before saying, "Hey, you got a great ass. Thanks, Pilgrim."
This film is so stupidly enjoyable. I think this is the reason why it is so highly regarded from everyone who basically sees it and anyone who's seen any of these Sidaris films. It is so chocked full of these excesses. And the tone, as you've kind of said, campy, everything is positioned as heightened and kind of exaggerated in the world of the film. But it's so goddamn fun.
Yeah. It gets lumped in with the so bad it's good crowd, but I've always disagreed with that being part of that conversation. Like this is not like a Troll 2 or The Room or anything like that. Like it's just a fun 80s movie.
And again, like what I said before, tone, Sidaris, it's masterful. It does. I mean, you can always look at shots or scenes like it doesn't always work. There are these kind of cringeworthy scenes with Sidaris as a TV producer in Hard Ticket to Hawaii when
that was hilarious. What are you talking about?
You thought it was, I don't know. Like,
no, I think but what you said about tone, like that is what makes this different than So Bad It's Good. This tone is very intentional.
Because it's self-aware.
Yeah.
And often that genre of film, the quote unquote So Bad It's Good, are films that at the time they were made, the filmmakers didn't 100% know what they were doing, and then a later audience would read that film in a different way than was originally intended. And so you get unintentional comedy, all that stuff. Here, it's very clear, I think. All I was saying is like the Sidaris bits don't work for me, but like it's very clear that it's made for that tonal purpose of humor. If you're laughing at it, it's because that's what the filmmaker wanted.
Yeah, like I thought it was I know what you're saying, but I didn't read it that way because it was so like his delivery is so. If anything, it's maybe just humor and poor taste. But like,
okay, I think that's probably fair.
Yeah. I like you're referring to the moment where he's the TV producer guy. Of course he is. Where he's like, he's like, you got it all, baby, but whatever, right? And she's like, you tried to rape me last night. He's like, that was last night.
yeah. It's like, okay.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, but I think it was just like humorous beat, but just maybe the humor is in poor taste.
I think his cameo in Malibu Express is better than his cameo in Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
Yeah, who was he in Malibu Express?
So in Malibu Express, he's driving the Winnebago.
Yes.
When they crash the car, June Knockers and Cody Abilene. And so this is where June Knockers flashes to get them to stop the car to give them a ride. There's some exchange where like, you're really blessed for giving us a ride. And he looks at her, sizes her up and down and says, like, no, I don't know, honey. Like you're the one who's blessed.
June Knockers with an H.
June Knockers with an H, yeah.
Do you have any final thoughts on Hard Ticket to Hawaii?
Hard Ticket to Hawaii is definitely, I think, a special film. It's special in part because it shouldn't work. There are choices that are made, to like make the female central. The way it positions the female characters, unusual, I think, in its time. But then this kind of campy, like it's an action film, but it's on steroids, but it knows it. And it's poking fun at it all the while it's still doing it. Like that shouldn't work, right? Like, but it does. And so it's the kind of film that I would find it hard to believe you could watch it and not enjoy it. Even like parts of it. I think overall it's great. It's a great, great film.
Oh yeah. This film is like super fun. Like it's fun to watch. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I just don't think it's so bad it's good. That's all.
No, but I never said that. You're talking to weird people.
And it's feminist.
Exploitation feminism. There you go.
Exploitation feminism. I think we made a good argument for it. The tagline for Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Pay the price for paradise.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, it's like the song at the beginning, right? It's not paradise all the time because you got to pay. Yeah, no notes. It's great. Lock it in.
So that was our discussion on Hard Ticket to Hawaii. What's your take on our take? Let us know. You can reach us on the socials or by email, cultfilmschoolpodcast@gmail.com. Okay, Andy Sidaris, Triple B Double Bill, Malibu Express, and Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Exploitation, feminism. Packaged in sleaze, but driven by women who are powerful, skilled, and often in control, even if the camera ogles them. So when we talk about Andy Sidaris, this guy who filled his movies with bazookas, bikinis, and bouncing breasts, it might seem wild to bring up feminism, but that's what makes it fascinating. Malibu Express and Hard Ticket to Hawaii weren't trying to make a statement about gender politics, but their own outrageous, oversexed way, they kind of did. Women drive the action, like we said. They solve the problems. They kill the bad guys. They do it all while outsmarting and outshooting their male counterparts, even if the camera insists on lingering on their curves while they do it. It's exploitation, sure, but it's also empowerment. If not by intention, then certainly by outcome. Sidaris gave us women who were sexy, yes, but they were also competent, fearless, in control. His world may have been soaked in sleaze, but somehow in all the absurdity, it left space for women to steal the show. And maybe that's the real hard ticket, or at least a slightly more interesting kind of B-movie feminism.
That was nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is my PhD thesis.
There you go. The thing that I enjoy about Sidaris, the thing that I find interesting about Sidaris, is how he's able to play with genre and genre expectations, whether they be, you know, like the detective mystery, the action adventure film, and do what we've been focusing on in our talk today, right? Consider these issues about feminism or representation, consider these issues about tone, and kind of navigate it and balance it in a way that, like, they are, on the one hand, so derivative of the genres and precursors that come before them, and on the other hand, so inventive in the way it kind of packages it all together. It's the thing that I love about genre film, that it kind of balances both of those instincts, right? To kind of remake it and to make it new. In some ways, it kind of parallels this thing that we've been talking about these two instincts between exploitation and between feminism. I have not seen everything in the ASCU yet, but I will. I'm about halfway through, give or take, but they're definitely interesting. If I had to tell anyone where to start, it would have to be Malibu Express, knowing that Hard Ticket to Hawaii is probably the stronger film, but they're good eats in film language.
Oh, yeah. All you can eat buffet.
So for our next episode, it's a special one. We have a guest, and our topic will be 1990s erotic thrillers. Well, we're going to be talking about Sliver and The Crush, both from 1993. It's going to be a steamy one next time at Cult Film School.
It's going to be a threesome. Thanks for listening to this episode of Cult Film School. Leave a rating and review for the show and subscribe to the podcast to be the first to know when the next episode drops.
Follow us on Letterboxd and our social media, all at Cult Film School, and reach out with opinions on the films we covered in today's show and ideas for cult films we might cover in future episodes at cultfilmschoolpodcast@gmail.com. See you next time. Class dismissed.